So when Relatively Paranormal goes out on a paranormal investigation to investigate and to film for segments for Wickedly Haunted, we use a wide array of equipment here, as you can see. We use everything from cameras to computers to simple things like flashlights to both communicate with spirits and to bring you the paranormal evidence showing you that ghosts do exist, demons exist, entities of all sorts of supernatural origins exist. And we like to do that on a scientific basis. So as much equipment as we can use, we will put out there to make corroborating evidence, basically. And corroborating evidence is when you have 2 or 3 pieces of evidence all proving each other, like a motion detector going off at the same time as you see a mist on camera, at the same time as the temperature drops on one of our meters. When all those 3 things happen at once, it's a much more compelling scene showing you that something did happen there. Now the first piece of evidence I'm going to show you is a laser grid pen, and basically it's a pen like this. It comes with a little tripod, and as you can see on the back wall here, we shoot a laser grid, and what we do is we leave it on a table or on the floor, and we put a camera shooting that area, and that way if something walks through the grid and breaks the beams, we can see it better. So for instance, let's see if I can do this. So if I walk through this, you can see that I break the beams there. So when that's on a camera, especially the red lights with an infrared camera, it makes the shadow or whatever breaking those beams very visible to us. The next item is the Rem Pod, which you've probably seen on a lot of paranormal shows. And basically what this item does is it produces a field of electromagnetic energy about, I'd say 4 or 5 inches from it. So if something comes in here and breaks that field, it goes off. Okay? If they come in and grab the antenna, and as you can see, the blue lights flash, it beeps and lets us know that something's playing with this. We can communicate with spirits through this, yes and no questions. We can do a lot of different things. We normally like to leave this in an area where we are not and show them how to use it. It's always an important thing if you're going to use it in a piece of equipment to show the spirits how to use it and see what happens to it. We've had ghosts play with this before, and it makes for a very nice piece of evidence. We recently got this item, which is really awesome. It is a flare thermal camera. And as you can see, as I shoot the area here, the hot items are the brighter colors, the darker colors are the cold items. So if you see something walking through this, that's not one of us, and they're ice cold or red hot or whatever, we can catch apparitions that way. The other thing is sometimes if you touch a wall and move your hand after, it can leave a handprint. We've seen before things on a bed or on a wall or something that one of us didn't do, and we can prove it because we're on video at the same time. And if that happens, normally it's paranormal. The other nice thing about this is these are little pistol grip tripods we use. So as you can see, you can put it down as a tripod. You can fold it up like this, press these buttons and clip it up. And you've probably seen Marissa or myself or Brandon holding it like this. And you can move around and shoot the whole area like that. And then if you need to put it down for some reason, you just clip it back out. You go like this, and you can continue to record that way, okay, after you put it down. Oh, Bixby busted in on me. Nice. Hey, Bixby. Okay. The next item we have is an old cell phone. Okay, now what are you doing with an old cell phone, Todd, you might ask? Well, there are a lot of nice ghost hunting apps you can use. Some of them work, some of them don't. Well, Marissa and I discovered this app, probably like 3 years ago, Marissa?
Yeah.
Well, 3 years ago, it's called the Perilous. If you've watched ghost shows, you've seen the Obelisk, which is a word box, a word bank, that ghosts can manipulate in order to produce words to communicate with us. We have communicated with them through this in extremely, extremely crazy ways where they busted out things, words that went right along with what we were saying. We actually did an investigation last night, and David, the name David was coming out of the spirit box left and right. And at the same time, this device, when you turn it on, all it is that. But then when a word pops up, it'll show up here, okay? You can see in the history, these are words from last night's investigation. Oh, it's right there, look, Dave and David, okay? The chances of those two names coming up one after the other is like 1 in a billion, okay? And the spirit box at the same time was saying that one of the 3 spirits at the location where we were at was Dave. So it was pretty crazy. So this thing, we leave it on audible so we can hear it talking in the background. One time I asked through the spirit box what was around my neck, and it said cross, and at the same time this said cross, like instantaneously, right, Marissa?
Yes.
It was insane. It's on one of our videos, actually. All right, we use motion detectors of all sorts. We have one here that lights up. If something walks through and breaks the beam, it'll light up. We have these other 2 that are audible. This is our latest one that we just got the other day. It's got a remote control on it where we can turn it on, and if we personally walk by and we have the remote control in our pocket, it will shut off. The amazing thing is the day we got this, we had it on the wall because we use it as a security device at home. And we were doing a paranormal investigation because, as you know, we're staying in a haunted house right now. And this started going on and off by itself. And I show in the video that the remote is on my keys, hanging about 10 feet away. It was insane. I would go to shut it off, and it would shut itself off, like as if to mess with me. And then I would turn around to walk away, and it would turn it back on. And that went on for like an hour. It's never done it before when we first got it that day, and it hasn't done it since. It's insane, right, Marissa? That was crazy.
It was crazy. That was
really almost like freaky. Almost freaky. I'll be honest with you, almost freaky.
It's cool.
Okay. This is 2 devices. It's an EMF detector. It detects temperature and electromagnetic energy frequencies, which we think ghosts and spirits and entities are made of. If you're in an area and you got a 00 and all of a sudden it starts going off in response to your questions, that could be something paranormal. But I also pair it up with a static detector. A static detector detects one thing only, static energy. Which the only way I could produce it would be to drag my feet on the carpet and touch it right here. You can see it goes off, okay? You have to touch it on the sensor. So if I come near it, it won't go off. This sensor right here is the only way for it to go off. Okay, it can go off red for negative energy, blue for positive energy. We've had this go off at the same time this is going off, and it's insane. It's insane because this can only go off one way, and that is to have static on you and touch it, and then you just press the button to reset it. So we have really 3 pieces of evidence, because if the temperature is raising or dropping at the same time, you know, those corroborate the 3. It also has the nice pistol grip on it, so it can be carried or left somewhere. You know, when we leave this somewhere and this is 00 and it stays that way, and half an hour later both things start going off, it's pretty intense. It's pretty crazy stuff. Okay. These are the simple mag light flashlights we use. Okay. I had a friend ask me, is that a trick flashlight the other day? One, I wouldn't even know how that would happen or work. It's a simple mag light. If you do not believe this, you are welcome to come on an investigation. Go to Walmart, buy your own mini mag light, and we will use it. We will use whichever one you want. I will go anywhere, any graveyard, any haunted location, and within 30 seconds I will have an entity talking to us through this. They can ask yes or no questions by twisting this on and off. We always show them how to do it. I call out and show them how to do it. And within a relatively short time, I promise you, if the place is haunted, they will come use it. I don't know why they can use these very easily. It is our go-to piece of equipment. It is a $10 item. If you want to ghost hunt, you go buy a mini mag light, use your cell phone with some of the apps and as a camera. That's how Marissa started years ago, in a graveyard with a cell phone, a mag light, and that same EMF detector right there that we got for $18.99 on Amazon, okay? So for less than $30 and the cell phone we already had, we were paranormal investigating, and I'll tell you what, we got some wild evidence, okay? We often use 2 or even 3 because we can ask yes or no questions, use both flashlights. We see these going on and off, and you know what? It makes for a pretty awesome video when you see flashlights, multiple ones, going on and off by themselves, even when we're not paying attention and you see them going off in the background. It's pretty nuts, you gotta admit. But the other thing we can do is once we establish communication, we can ask if it's a male or a female through yes and no only questions. And then when we turn on our spirit box for direct communication, we can confirm our answers with this, because sometimes you can't hear exactly, did you just say the box was a portal? Well, if it's yes, please turn on the flashlight. Then the flashlight turns on. Now you know that you heard it properly. Sometimes it's not that easy to hear. We all get excited and start talking, and sometimes you can't hear it. We've gotten better with the talking lately, but sometimes you can't hear exactly what it said, and when they can confirm the answer through a flashlight, it makes it much better. I have to show this cool flashlight I did buy the other day that's also like a little lantern. Okay, $10 item again. When you're walking around a graveyard, it helps. I clip it on my belt now, and when Marissa, Brandon, and I are walking around and we need to move from place to place, it's nice to have a little flashlight going. Actually, this was bright as hell last night. We used it for the first time last night. This was real bright last night.
It was great, yeah.
It was awesome. Now we have a multitude of cameras. These are our rigs right here. This is a 2.7K infrared camera. This on top is an infrared light. This smoky filter on it is a cut filter because sometimes the infrared lights, if you get too close to the person you're filming, can bleed out. We have an external microphone on it with a hood on it to give us better video. And obviously it's sitting on one of our tripods. We have many of those. This right here, same thing, different setup though. We've started to use these light bars when they're set up on a tripod. That's not going to be moved. With this one right here, within 2 seconds, I can press a button, take this off, and now I'm handheld, and I can move it around, okay? And then when I'm done with it, I can just put it back on here, pull the lever, pop it in, okay? Lock it in place, and it's back in place. So we do it 2 different ways. If that's not going to move all night, it'll sit on a bar because it's just an easier way to do it. If we want to be able to access it, we'll go ahead and put it on one of these grips, and that way we can pull them on and off real quickly. We use these battery boxes with it, okay? And we plug these lights into it. These are 12-volt battery boxes. They make the lights extremely, extremely bright. You got to have the right power to power these. These are normally supposed to be on the side of your house, okay, for like security. I found them and found that they fit on the cameras very well, and they work awesome. They're super bright. Like we can light up a graveyard with these, right, Marissa?
Oh yeah.
They're nuts.
Yeah, they were
and
great.
These battery boxes, they take 8 batteries. They are a little heavy. We do strap them to these mounts. I didn't strap them all here for this demonstration, but they make these very bright.
They last all night.
What's that?
They last all night.
Yeah, yeah. They do eat batteries fast, though. These lights eat batteries very fast. I'm not gonna lie. And of course, I now make stickers for us, as you can see. Relatively Paranormal. We don't judge, we don't charge, we just help. For all you out there that need help with a paranormal problem, this is our motto. We don't charge a cent. We don't judge anything you're saying, okay? We've been there. We've lived in 200 houses. We will come help as soon as possible, especially when there's families and children involved. And that's another reason why we bought all this equipment, is to be able to validate your experiences when you need us to come help you. I bought this the other day. Actually surprised Marissa with it. She knows I was buying it, but she likes it. For $10, it's a footstep detector. Works really awesome. You put it on the ground, you set it, and then if anybody steps, boom, it goes off. If anybody knocks on something, if it senses any sort of vibration, it will go off and alert us that something happened. So we'll normally leave this in an area where we are far away, and we put a camera on it. Like last night I set up an experiment with this, the motion detectors, and the Rem Pod, and actually the laser grid too, and we just left it. We haven't watched the video yet, but we did hear a couple of our devices going off, the motion detectors. I think we might have heard this too, I'm not sure. But that's really awesome when we're a whole story away and 50 feet the other way, and all of a sudden we hear beep, 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 going from our other area. That tells us that something is playing with our equipment when we're the only people in the building. That's another good reason why we have all these cameras, is to put them around in different areas so that we know that it wasn't one of us that made a noise or set up an equipment, because we can look on the other cameras and see that we were all standing still, we were all together. This is our new baby, right, Marissa?
Yeah.
The new 4K. Listen, this isn't just 4K, it's 56 megapixels. We just checked out some of the video from last night. Incredible stuff. We bought an upgraded microphone for it that you can also plug headphones in and listen to live. So who's ever using the handheld camera can listen with a little bit of extra like oomph to their hearing. So if a voice is heard or something is heard, they're going to hear it before the rest of us. Much clearer as well. It works really awesome. And Marissa had it on last night with the headphones. She said she could hear everything very well. And this camera took absolutely exceptional video last night. Really good stuff. You're going to be thrilled. Now, the next two items we have are incredible. I believe we may be one of the only paranormal groups on the planet that has not one, but two structured light sensor cameras, okay? Two SLS cameras, but they are not the same thing. Oh, no. We couldn't get the same thing. The first thing we started off with was this rig right here, is the V2 Connect. We actually bought the zoom lens for it to give it more power, okay? We bought a portable battery pack for it there. I set it all up on this camera rig with a huge tablet that Brandon found for us with the mount. And when you turn on, you have seen our awesome SLS footage, 14-foot demons, crazy, wild stuff. Okay, we've had this for a while. And as you can see, when we're holding it, we have an enormous screen right here to look at. And you just hold it like this, put your hand in it, it's actually not that heavy, and you can shoot. These mounts are incredible. They have like a set of huge rubber skis on them, so you can set them down on a table or whatever if it starts getting too heavy, and hold it there. Put it down and be able to monitor what it's seeing right through this. And then if you sense that something's there, or you see a stick figure forming, you can pick it up real easy and just move it around to, you have that zeroed in. This thing works awesome. We've got the most incredible videos with this. We've had it for about 6 months now. It's incredible. This is our new joint here. This is the next step up. This is the V2 Connect, okay? This shoots out infrared dots to map things. This uses something called LiDAR, which is almost like a radar or sonar, where it shoots out, a beam which bounces back to it. And this maps in 3D, 3 dimensions. That maps in 2D. This is 3D. Marissa, how incredible is this thing?
Oh, it's like a whole different...
This sees into a different dimension, I promise you, when you see the video. We're seeing orbs that look like black balls. They're like 3D. The orbs are like 3D. So people who want to call it dust, you're about to get proven very wrong with this video. We've seen black mists. We've seen things coming out of the spirit box. The stick figures now have 26 joints that you can see. You can see feet. You can see hands, where before you couldn't see the hands and the feet. Just looked like little, you could tell that it was arms and legs and a head. But this, you can see the hands, the feet, the shoulders, the slope of the shoulders, the hips. This thing is incredible. We saw something climbing out of the spirit box last night, or into it, one or the other. I don't know. It was insane. It was insane. When you see the video, Marissa and I bought this huge tablet for it. Really incredible, like next level tablet. Things incredible. 6 gigs of RAM, 128 megabytes of storage. The processor is like 3.0 hertz. This thing's a nasty tablet, but you have to have it with this because this is just so fast. There's a little lag on it. This is instantaneous mapping, and with the things it sees, I don't even know it's seeing something that is just way far out there. But we like to use them together a lot or separately, just because they work different ways, and sometimes that's picking up a stick figure and that's not, and vice versa. That's because they're using different technology. Okay. We have another night vision camera setup that we have with the original lights we use. Originally I was doing 9-volt packs with these, and they were okay. I switched them to the same 12-volt packs, and these are like spotlights now. These are crazy. This camera is only a full HD infrared camera, but it's great for a hotspot room that we're not going to be in. If somebody says I got a lot of activity in my bedroom and we're in the living room, we leave this with experiments as well, and we can get extra footage there. We have another camera right here. Same thing, it's full HD. We can leave it in a hot spot. We left it before in one spot and actually got really crazy video on it. At the Whaling Mansion case, you can see that. The case of the haunted Whaling Mansion. It got some actually wild video on the 3rd floor when we were down in the basement. It had the Rem Pod and everything going off on it. Now you want to ask, why is there a cell phone on the tripod here? A couple months ago, the Samsung Galaxy 10s had an update, and I don't know what the hell they did. Marissa, we have no idea what happened. We went and used it. It said night under the photo section when you click night. I don't know what the hell, but Marissa uses it now to take pictures. As long as there's a little bit of light, it can actually see some of the infrared as well. She gets the most amazing pictures. I take pictures, I have the same phone, I take the pictures. I've gotten a couple weird things, but she's gotten like full body apparitions, shadow figures that are like no doubt shadow figures, shadow heads, a floating apparition head in a room, a shadow arm coming out behind somebody's bureau. The list goes on and on. And the coup de grace in Plymouth at the John Carver Inn, the John Carver demonic infestation video on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our channel, Relatively Paranormal YouTube. And of course, you're watching Lee Wickedly Haunted Friday nights at 6. But if you've seen the video, you've seen the picture she got with the camera. I'm holding my arm out, and there is a man's head in the middle of my arm. It's a man's head. I don't care, call it what you want, it's a man's head. It's bizarre. I can feel it. Okay, we videotaped it as well. When we use any cameras, if we're taking pictures, the rule is you take 3 or 4 in a row, because any apparition will normally be dissolving or appearing, and the picture will change as you go between the 3 or disappearing. So if you have an anomaly and it's there for 3, 4, 5 pictures, it's probably not paranormal. If it's changing or moving for 3, 4, 5 pictures or disappearing, you may have something paranormal there. That's why we have that rule in place. But we're also videotaping Marissa or myself or anyone taking pictures at the same time, because when she took that picture of me, the static camera in the room caught what? Me saying, oh my God, it feels like there's a block of ice on my arm. Oh my God, it feels like the whole back. And the spirit box says, that's not ice, that's me. And Marissa's in the background going, oh my God, Todd, you're not going to believe this. There's something appearing next to your arm. Oh my God, there's something manifesting there. When you have those, a spirit box saying that's me, Marissa's screaming in the background because she can see it forming as she's taking the pictures, and me saying I can feel like a block of ice on my arm together. When you're watching at home, you must admit that it gives it more credence to the proof that that's something real happening there. Okay? We don't hoax, we would never hoax, we hate hoaxes. If people didn't hoax, then we would know everything we saw on TV was real, right? But when you watch our stuff, I can guarantee you that everything is real. That's what we want to bring you, the real deal, okay? With Relatively Paranormal, what Marissa says, non-stop action, non-stop evidence, all the time. That's what we want to bring you, okay? If you're gonna watch our stuff, it's not for goofy walking around, is that you? And like us dancing and being fools the whole time, clowning. It's us bringing you evidence of paranormal activity, of the supernatural. And that's why we have all this equipment. We have a huge, what is this, like an 18-inch laptop right here? Mm-hmm. As you can see, we got a huge sticker on it of the Wickedly Haunted. And it's just massive. Why do we have this? Because sometimes we need to download evidence if our SD cards fill up, or if something crazy happens and we want to watch the playback, we can plug the SD card right in and watch it on a big screen rather than on one of these little tiny camera screens. So you want to watch it on 3 inches or 14, 18, whatever, it's like 18 inches. So that's why we bring that with us. It gives us a lot more flexibility with the footage. Now, once all this is done, and we have 4, 5, 6 hours of footage on all these devices, and it all has to be downloaded and processed. The evidence has to be watched, reviewed, then edited, and turned into a show for you to be able to watch and enjoy, okay? So we're talking, all 20, 30 hours worth of video and audio sometimes, sometimes less. It depends on the situation. We don't bring all this all the time. It depends on the location. Obviously, if we're going to a graveyard, we don't have all this stuff. There's only 3 of us. There's 3 people trying to use all this equipment, okay? But if we can, we like to use all of it. We like to pepper the area with equipment. Then we bring it to the command center here. As you can see, I have last night's videos producing right now. We download it all into here, and then Marissa and I sit over here at this beautiful command center. Marissa set off the Rem Pod over there. We download it all, and this is where we do our editing on our editing software, and we turn it into a video for you that we hope you enjoy enough to continue to watch us Fridays at 6 o'clock, and to go to our YouTube channel, Relatively Paranormal, subscribe, and please watch the videos. That's why we do this for you folks. We know ghosts are real. We know the supernatural exists. We're trying to bring you and the world the proof of that, so that you can join us in the true belief 100% that something exists past this life. We don't have all the answers, but we certainly do have some of them. And of course, last but not least, is a special invention of mine, the Vortex Spirit Box. If you're a fan of our videos, then you've heard how incredible the direct communication is out of this box. It even astonishes Marissa and I from time to time, right, Marissa?
Yeah, oh yeah.
When I started watching Ghost Adventures and other type videos, and they would get, their EVPs, a word or two, I honestly can't believe that we get full sentences, direct communication. As long as this box is on, the talking does not stop. Out of control. Watch our videos, Relatively Paranormal, right here, YouTube, Wickedly Haunted, every Friday night at 6, and you will get to experience the Vortex for yourself. I get to experience it every time that we go out. Marissa gets to experience it every time that we go out to investigate. And honestly, like I said, I can't believe what comes out of this thing. So thank you again for watching Wickedly Haunted, Relatively Paranormal, the Vortex, my invention, out of control. Whew. Thank you. Bye.